Hi everybody, I'd like to introduce you to a concise but extremely powerful concept. It comes from solutions focus. I've got a book here, this is by a British writer, Mark McCurgow. But solutions focus was actually developed by a couple of Americans, Steve DeShazer and his wife. And they have some interesting takes on things. For example, something that they call scaling. We ask a person, let's say the person's life, you would say to them, on a scale of 1 to 10, how is your life doing? And the person might answer, say, a 3. Now, the typical coaching you'd get, the typical approach or attitude is, okay, so why isn't it a 9 or a 10? What's wrong? What are the problems? What are you not doing? What are you not getting? You're not having, and so on. You know, what's missing? That kind of approach, and it stresses the person out because they're looking at that missing 6 or 7 degrees, they're only a 3. Well, solutions focus has a brilliant idea. It says, let's not worry about that. Let's take a look at why it's not a 1 or a 2. You must have something going right. So whatever resources you've got now, let's look at these and let's develop these. And if you're an entrepreneur, you might be familiar with this. You're chasing something way out there, $1 million, $10 million, or whatever it is, and you're not getting there. You're working hard. But, if you look at what you've got and then build on that, let's say you have a successful direct mail business. I mean, that's a bit old-fashioned now. It'd be online, I guess. But, let's just say for argument, and you find that a certain type of letter was working quite well and you got some good benefits from that. Well, you'd try and build on that. Let's do some more of those letters. Let's do it that style. And, you'd expect to be sort of, you were $500,000, now you're $750,000, you reach $1 million and so forth. Whereas if you're looking at, where's my missing 9.5 millions, it can be very stressful. There's another take on this by a guy called Dan Sullivan. He's a coach, and he talks about the gap. You may meet this concept in the same form. The gap is the sort of distance between here, where you are, and out there, where you want to be. And it's the same with the scaling I was just telling you about. It's actually pressure and tension, lack, it's need, you don't have it, you want it, there's a hunger, potentially all that's very stressful. So Dan Sullivan's advice is, well, turn around and look the other way. Instead of looking where you want to go, look where you came from and see how much that you've achieved in the meantime. See, that's great, you made a lot of progress. And if you do it that way, if you take the trouble to look backwards where you've come from, then you'll find satisfaction and gratitude, validation for what you've been doing, all the good things that are happening. And it's true, psychologically it works for you in that way. Now, of course, I'm not saying people shouldn't have goals or aims or ideals, and they should be way out in front. One of the definitions of sanity that I've created for supernoetics is having a bright and beautiful future. That actually defines sanity if you think about it. If you're stuck in the past, that's not sane. If you're stuck too much in the present so that you can't move forward, you've got no future, that's still a worry. You need to have a nice future out there. Nobody's arguing that. Make your plans, set your targets and your goals, but don't stress with the lack of them. Don't get into angst that you don't have it yet, so long as you're moving there. If you're driving from Los Angeles to Chicago, hey, when you get to Albuquerque, give yourself a break and say, this is great, look how far we've come. We come all the way from LA, we're now in Albuquerque. And never mind taking out the map and thinking, oh my God, when will we ever get to Chicago? Have those futures, but take it in bite-sized sections so that you can reward yourself. By all means, create a future, but please don't let it crucify you or cripple you in the present. Look behind, and at that, Dan Sullivan called it the reverse gap. So the future gap is the one you want, and the reverse gap is where you've come from. And it's very nurturing and empowering. Trust me, it really is. Take a look. Enjoy. Thanks very much for listening.